I used to drive a semi-truck across America with swollen legs and a back that never stopped hurting, wondering if my life was always going to look like this. Today I run a freight brokerage agency from my laptop, no boss, no truck, no breakdown, and the next 15 minutes I'm gonna show you exactly how I did it and how you can do it too. Because if you are watching this right now, there is a good chance you are in one of these situations. Maybe you are a truck driver, you know the industry, you have driven the roads, you have moved the freight, and you are exhausted. You want to come home to your family, you want to stop living out of a truck cab and start building something of your own. Maybe you are someone who heard about freight brokerage and thought this could be my way out, my way into something real, but every time you try to get started, you feel overwhelmed and you don't know where to begin. Maybe you are a woman who keeps being told this industry is not for you, that it is too male-dominated, too competitive, too hard to break into without the right connections. Or maybe you just got laid off, or you are stuck in a job you hate and you are looking for something real, something you can build from home, something that doesn't require a degree, a huge investment, and years of experience. Whatever brought you here today, I want you to know one thing. This is possible for you, not someday, not eventually, right now. But here is what nobody tells you when you first try to get into freight brokerage. You can make all the cold calls in the world, you can send hundreds of emails, and shippers will still ignore you. Not because you are not good enough, not because this business is not for you, but because you are doing it the way everyone else is doing. And shippers have seen every version of that approach thousands of times. Here is the truth about how shippers actually make decisions. They don't pick the broker with the lowest rate. They don't pick the broker who called the most. They pick the broker they trust, and trust is not built through one cold call and 2 follow-ups. Trust is built by showing up consistently in the right niche with a broker who does what they said they would do, who picks up the phone, who keeps their word every single time. That is why shippers calling the same broker back and give them most of their business. Not because they have the lowest rate, not because they called the most, but because they showed up and they delivered. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to become that broker. But you might be wondering who I am and why you should listen to me. And that is a fair question. My name is Lida, and when I came to America 10 years ago, I had nothing. No connections, no perfect English, no network, and no family here. Absolutely nothing, and the only job I could get was driving a semi-truck, a big one. And I drove that truck for a year across the country. I traveled the country, but my legs would have gotten swollen, my back would hurt, and I drove through the rain, through the night, through moments where I sat behind that wheel and questioned my entire existence and wondered if my life was always going to look like this. But I was looking, I was learning, I was paying attention to how freight actually moved, and I saw who was making the real money in this industry. And I found out that they are freight brokers, not the truck drivers or trucking company owners, but the freight brokers, the one who is connecting manufacturers with the carriers. Because trucks get breakdown and you pay insurance, you live on the road, so many headaches that never go away. So I realized that freight brokering is the best path, and I switched. I became freight broker from scratch. No one handed me an account, just trial and error through rejection, through months of cold calls that went nowhere, through emails that got ignored, the moments where I questioned everything. And then it happened. My first load, I made $500 profit, and when I saw that number, I just sat there because it was real. This was actually working, and the second month, I made over 10K, and I knew I am on the right path. So last year, I became a President Club's freight broker, one of the top performers in my freight brokerage, a woman, an immigrant, someone who came here with nothing. Also, I won the Women in Supply Chain Award. I started a podcast called Your Bestie in Freight, where I invite people who also went through trials and errors, and I want to show you guys that everything is possible. I want to be real with you what this business actually gave me. I traveled to countries I used to only dream about when I was sitting behind that wheel. I was able to give my kids what they needed without constant stress and worry. I experienced real freedom for the first time in my life, not just income freedom, real, actual, book the flight and go wherever you want freedom. I didn't get there because I got lucky. I got there because I built something real and I stayed in the game long enough for it to pay it off. I also spent years figuring out exactly why it works so I could teach it to others. That is what Freight Freedom Academy is. Let's talk what makes the best freight brokers different, because shippers don't need the cheapest brokers. They need the most reliable one. The one who picks up the phone at the midnight when something goes wrong. The one who never goes quiet between loads. The one who shows up before the shipper even has to ask. That broker doesn't have to be the most experienced person in the room. They just have to show up, do what they said, and never disappear. But first, you have to get in front of the right shippers, and that is where most people get stuck. Getting that first conversation. That is what the system is for. So now let's talk numbers. Let me put this in perspective for you. One shipper might give you 2 to 3 loads a day. That is 10 loads a week, let's say. And if you make $200 to $300 per load, you will make $2,000 to $3,000 a week. That is over $100,000 a year. And here is what makes this business different from almost anything else out there. That's why I love it. The same shipper keeps giving you freight every single week if you do a good job. Every month, year after year. This is not a one-time sale. This is a relationship, and relationships compound. 3 to 5 shippers like that and you are looking at multiple 6 figures. And we don't stop there, of course. We build the habit of always growing, always prospecting, always adding new accounts, because the brokers who build real businesses never stop moving forward and never stop prospecting. Let me introduce Freight Freedom Academy. It is a complete AI-powered direct shipper acquisition program built for people starting from zero. And we have one goal: land your first direct shipper account in 90 days. So here is how we get you there. We start with mindset, the real kind, because rejection is part of this business. And if you are not mentally prepared for it, nothing will save you. We handle that first, then we make sure you understand exactly how freight works, how money moves, how to talk to shippers like you have been doing this for years, even on your first few calls. Then we go deep into shipper psychology, what shippers are actually thinking when you reach out, why they trust certain brokers, how to go from being just another vendor to being their most trusted partner. Then we build your niche and your offer, because showing up as a specialist beats showing up as just another broker every single time. Then we build the full prospecting system: emails, calls, walk-ins, LinkedIn, referrals, industry events, Dream 100 list, right? Every channel mapped out step by step. Then we close. What to say when they reply, how to quote without killing the relationship, how to handle every objection before it even comes up. Then we lock in the account, move the freight right way, turn one account, one lot into a long-term relationship that grows month after month, year after year. This is not a course that teaches you about freight brokerage. This is a system that gets you your first direct shipper account. Those are two completely different things. So, who this is for? This is for truck drivers who is done with the road and ready to build something real, something of their own. The owner-operators who wants to stop depending on brokers and start building direct relationships of their own. The person who got laid off and needs to build some realistic business. The woman who keeps being told this industry is not for her. And anyone who is willing to show up, follow up the system, and do the work for 90 days. This is not for people looking for a shortcut. This is for people who are serious about changing their life. I know what some of you are thinking right now. The market is too saturated. Wrong. Freight brokerage is projected to hit over $600 billion by 2035. It is not saturated. You just didn't have the right system to break into it yet. I'm not good at sales. Neither was I. I was an immigrant with imperfect English, calling shippers who had never heard of me. Sales is not a personality. It is a process, and I will teach you that process step by step. I don't have any experience. Good. This was built for you. You don't need experience. You need a system, and that is exactly what you are going to get. I cannot afford it right now. That is exactly why we have payment plans and financing options available. You can get started today without paying everything upfront. And remember, one shipper doing 10 loads a week pays for your entire investment in less than 2 weeks. This is not a cost, it is the best investment you will make this year. What if I do the work and it doesn't work for me? If you go through the program, complete the program and do the work, use the system, and you don't land the direct shipper within 90 days, I will personally work with you until you do. A real promise backed by real confidence in what I built. So, Freight Freedom Academy is open for enrollment. Inside, you will get complete program. Every module, every system, every AI tool, every script, over 100 lessons taught by an active President's Club freight broker who is landing direct shippers right now. You get live weekly Q&A calls with me personally for 12 weeks. Not a recording, me on a call with you every single week. You bring your real shipper conversations and I help you work through them live. You get the complete bonus stack, the Dream 100 Shipper Tracker, the AI prompt library, the niche finder, checklist, and direct access to my personal network of freight brokerages actively looking for new agents. And for the students who truly show up and do the work, the best students may have the opportunity to start as an agent or work directly with established freight brokerages already moving freight every single day. Real hands-on experience, real relationship, a real path to getting started and making money faster than doing it alone. So, one program, one goal, your first direct shipper account in 90 days. Click the button below to get all the details, fill out the questions and apply. You will get on a call with myself or one of my team members. Come prepared, bring all your questions and show up ready to learn. Before you go, I want to leave you with something real. When I was driving that semi-truck across America, I had no idea any of this was waiting for me on the other side. I didn't know I would sit on a beach in a country I used to only dream about. I didn't know I would build a freight brokerage agency that changed my family's life. I didn't know I would stand on the stage and be recognized as a Woman in Supply Chain award winner. I didn't know I would build something that helps people just like you do the same. All I knew was that I was not going to stop. Every shipper that told no, every door that felt closed, every moment I wondered if my accent was holding me back, every day I questioned whether this was ever going to work, I kept going because I believed that one yes could change everything for me. You are one yes away from your first direct shipper account, and that one account is the beginning of the life you actually want. The freedom, the income, the dream car, the house, the business that is yours and nobody else's. I built Freight Freedom Academy so you don't have to figure it out the hard way, the way I did. The system is built, the tools are ready, the community is waiting. This business changed my life and it might change yours too. And if this feels like the opportunity you have been looking for, fill out the application and I will see you on the call.